Previously, Setsu was summoned to another world for the second time. The first time he was summoned, Setsu had put an end to ages of conflict between humans and demons, and in a deadly battle with his arch-enemy Toma. He met his demise and was reborn as a child in Japan, where he had made a childhood friend named Yuhi, but now his entire class has been summoned to this world. So Setsu embarks on a journey to find the culprit who is disrupting the peace he brought to this world. So he travels to the demon kingdom to learn their side of the story and discovers that his friend, the demon queen Desistal, was forced to marry a fool. Because he claims that he can restore peace between humans and demons. But it was all a calculated plan by Toma to attack both humans and demons and make them believe that it is the other one's fault for restarting the war. So Setsu set off to get a strong backing from the king of beast men for a peace resolution and to find Toma as well. It was a long way to the beast men continent, so as a non-magic user he asked Levi to make a teleport magic to get there instantly, but it was a hassle even for someone like her, the great sea god. It takes years to prepare a magic spell at that, but their carriage stopped to have some passengers who were on the same way. She turns out to be Alize, a longtime acquaintance of Setsu. And on top of that she proclaims to be Setsu's disciple, but she needs an explanation from Setsu for disappearing for 5 years, so Setsu told them everything that happened, how he reincarnated again, and how he was summoned yet again, so he invited Alize to his journey, but Alize has her hands full with her own problems. After Setsu vanished, Alize continued to train herself by taking on various jobs, such as this one, in which she accepted a request from the village to exterminate a dragon that was threatening the village. As such, she stayed in that village with Amel in her home as guests. She was an orphan, but her brother took her in and they both lived together. But when that dragon appeared for the first time, he didn't come back and there hasn't been any news of him since then. Alize felt bad for her, so she asked to stay for a bit longer with and asked Amel to treat her as her own sister. Setsu seemed to feel something amiss about this because they hadn't found her brother's body yet, but that's where this case gets complicated. Because in the dragon attack no one dies, but everyone goes missing on every attack. So to learn more about its attack, Alize tried to lure it in by disabling the ward that keeps the dragon away to lure it in and slay that dragon. But as she did, the dragon fell into her trap, and she successfully injured it, but sensing the danger, it flew away, so Alize tried to catch up to him to kill it, but she lost it. And when she returned to the village, all of the villagers had vanished into thin air, except for Amel, who remained unharmed for some reason. After hearing this, Setsu and Levi offers their help to solve this case, and for Levi, she thought that some necromancer must have turned every villagers into zombies. But if that would have been the case, at least they could see undead villagers roaming around the village making their undead noises. So she guessed again that a mermaid must have traveled to the land and must have hypnotized villagers by her song and taken them away. But that also can't be the case, because Amel has a keen sense of smell, so she would know right away that there's a sea folk nearby. Suddenly, the wagons stopped because their way was blocked by the overflow of the river. While waiting in that rain, Setsu thought that this might have been the handiwork of an alien, which no one would even believe, and no one knows what aliens are in this world. Then there's one thing Setsu noticed, that every villagers had gone missing, but Amel is fit and fine. And he was right on the money, as Amel appears to be behind all of this. As she transformed into a dragon herself, Levi and Setsu were getting ahead on the battle, but Alize was still getting set back to fight the person she thought of as her sister. But it wasn't able to stop her because she considered herself as Setsu pupils that she landed a final blow to it and finish Amel. After that, Azil took her way to still save the villagers, and Setsu and Levi took off to the beast men continent. But unfortunately Amel didn't die by their attacks and arrived with every monster she had. She made those monsters by luring every villagers in with her magic to turn them into puppets by Toma's order, and now Alize is also in danger. On another hand, Yuhi, Setsu's childhood friend, wanted to be with him on his journey, but she is still pretty weak. Yuhi lived very close to Setsu, so they were always together from their childhood. She harbors only love for Setsu and wants to be with badly. There was one time when they were about to enter high school. Yuhi wanted to be on the same school as Setsu, but her grades weren't that nice, so Setsu just asked her not be so hard on herself if she can't do it, and just leave it be. His words sounded harsh, but she still took private classes to raise her grades, but then some idiots tried to hit on her, and Setsu saved her from them. After that day, she knew that she never wanted to be separated from Setsu. So she focused on her training to get stronger as soon as she could. For that she asked Elka and Lane, Setsu's companion, to train her personally. Setsu had gone through many difficulties to bring peace, and it appears that he is still fighting for that, and Yuhi was determined to walk alongside him. So Elka wanted proof of her will and attacked her, and Yuhi holds her own in Elka's test. In comparison to other, Yuhi had developed her power much more. But what she lacked was real experience in killing, so for her last test Elka took Yuhi to the sewers where some monster tend to come by to see her strong will. Yuhi did attack that monster, but it was only powerful enough to burn him a little, and she thought this was it, but her carelessness got her a scratch. Even so, she blasted that thing up but lacked the willpower to kill it, and Elka had to finish her job. This was what she meant when she told her that she doesn't have a determined will to fight. It was a down moment for Yuhi, but Thea gets there to lighten her mood so that she could focus on her will. And Glane also knew and advised her to be clear on what she does desire to do and burn the fire of motivation to achieve that desire, like he did. Burning will to be stronger to protect who's closer to him. After that, Yuhi had made significant progress in her power that she blew up her target into ashes and attained a new level of magical strength. And for this time she returns to the sewer to show her determination. She knocked that monster out but didn't kill. So this is what her determined will is, not to take life but still become powerful enough to help her friends. Unfortunately, the king had now declared war on the demon kingdom. On one hand, Setsu wants to end this bloody war, but the people he cares about, Alize and Yuhi, are in grave danger, so how will everything turn out? Subscribe to get the update on the next part. Until then, take care.